Okay, I have had a bunch of requests on how I have my overlays set so perfectly or how it looks so professional. How do I do this? How do I do that? So I'm making this video so that way you guys can see, and pretty much going to be a tutorial on everything, including Streamlabs, overlays, widgets, alerts, all of it. So that way you guys can be prepared and show everything that you need for you. So, first, we're going to get started with the actual Streamelements tab. Streamelements is a really good platform for PC users, and there's also a way that you can do it for Xbox, PlayStation, and still have these pretty overlays for your streams, and so it looks in a professional manner. Now, a lot of people, there are um, free overlays that you can get through Streamlabs that you would just go to the scene. It's gonna take a minute for it to load. And up at the very top here, you would type in free. There's going to be quite a few different ones that are free and stuff, but if you're wanting something that's a little bit more directed towards you, you can. You will need to pay attention though, because as long as it doesn't have, let me go back so you guys can see. So, like, I don't know, just do random black, like this one. We'll do this one. This right here, included with Ultra, is a version you have to pay for, which is, I think it's like 30 bucks a month or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. But there are free ones that you can use if you don't feel like spending any money or you're on limited budget. There are free options for everybody. And there's a bunch of different ones too. It's like that one I was looking at was pretty cute, the cats. But each one will come with its own little thing. So as long as it doesn't have the with the Ultra, then it is free. This one looks like a charity. Yep, charity. And it has a bunch of different things and setup, and everything will come in pre-programmed for your deal. Now, if you aren't working your with those and you want something a little bit more different, I suggest visiting Etsy. Etsy has a lot of very inexpensive overlays that are that also helps with a small business and provides for them. And a lot of these are instant downloads. So what I would do is I would start off by going into your create with a created new one so you can kind of get a feel and everything will kind of pop up here. So for me, I have let me get this donation out of the way. Okay. So you have all these different ones here. And this is from another one that I had made from a previous overlay system that I had going on. And it has like your starting soon, your intermission, and the BRB, and the ending stream. Okay. So if you wanted to create a new scene over here, you would create a new scene. I'm not going to do it. And you can name it whatever you want. It'll be black. It'll pop up as black in a blank slate. I wouldn't have audio or anything. And then you would go over here and you would do a media file. A media file is going to be either a static photo or it's going to be like an MP4 video of like an animated scene. So, like this background part here, that is going to be there. And if you don't have an animated scene, you could just use a regular image. And the image, you can kind of move it around and stuff so it matches up your screen. And there's different ways that you can kind of play around with that too. Now, for setting up transitions, you're going to want to this little button right here, edit scene transitions. Now, a lot of transitions are stinger transition type, which is a pre-made version that you either bought or it comes with. Now, with the stinger is sometimes you have to play with the FPS for it to match up. With mine, I had to match up the FPS on the scene transitioning to the next one. And it could be a little complicated, but it's really very easy, very straightforward, all of it. So you would go into edit. Your video file, it'd be something that you would have had downloaded from Etsy, or it's something that you've already had there. And if you don't like the ones that are off of Etsy, or if you don't like the one that was provided from the free one, you can always go in here. Which one is it? And there's different types. So there's a fade to color, there's a slide, there's a swipe, fade in, a cut. There's a bunch of different ones that you can play with to kind of customize it to your needs. Now I'm going to leave mine the way it is and go over the FPS. This right here is the ones where it doesn't automatically do it, you'll have to play around with this little number here. A lot of the times it's in the 50 to 90 range for the transition because it's an animated transition and you have to match it up so that way it looks smooth. For me, it's set at 83, and that's just because of the transition of it going through from the bats and stuff with mine. There's some stuff on here that has like the audio. I don't even know if this has audio or not. I haven't even listened to if it does. So I'll probably do that later. Now, with your sources, which is over here, which is the little icons that you see all over here, like the donation bar, there are a bunch of different ones that you can get, such as I have a reactive pet. I got a lot of these off of Etsy. My reactive pet, they come with guides on how to teach you on how to set it up, all of it. And a lot of it has to do with stream. So, Streamelements and Streamlabs run hand in hand with each other. Streamelements is a lot of the times where people will put in the information for you to have these sources for you. So with Streamelements, you would add a new source and you would do a browser source because it's transitioning data from that website from your account to your linked Streamlabs. Yes. So you will also need to make sure that you have an audio input capture. Your audio input capture is your microphone that is connected to make sure your streams are working. So that way you can engage with chat. It's like this is my audio input here. And a lot of it, there's a bunch of different filters and stuff for this, and you're gonna have to play around with them as they go. I don't have any set on mine because I have a natural filter built in with my microphone that I'd gotten off of Amazon. Another thing is you're going to want a display capture. This right here is what's processing from like what game you're playing. So I keep it on my monitor so you guys can actually see my screen. So like this is I have my Streamelements or my Streamlabs window set up with my screen that I'm using for this display capture. And there's a bunch of different ones that you can kind of go in through here. So there's a screen capture, there's window capture, game capture, a bunch of them. But I figured out with PC or desktop, laptop, all of it, is your display capture is going to be a lot easier to work with than anything else. Because sometimes the game capture, it kind of lags out here and there, and it takes a minute for the audio to kind of catch up. And this way, with this one, you can kind of play around with like audio being on there, and you can set it up with um, your VOD tracks where the audio doesn't come in, and you have to go through different bits in that. I don't have like the music set up with that, so I'm not going to teach you guys how to do that. There's plenty of videos that will show you, but I'm just going based off of stuff that is very crucial and key point to this stream or this video. Sorry. So whenever you now with me as a PNG tuber, I have just a still image here, and I'm working on the possibility of getting further up and stuff where I have an actual VTuber, or I decide, okay, I actually want to stream with a camera. But for now, it's for this. Now, if you have a camera, you're going to want to go back in here and you're going to want to find video capture. Video capture is you'll have everything set up. We'll have like your camera, your ring light, and everything else. Your ring light won't show through, but it'll have that light in the background for your camera to actually pull up your face. So that's how you set up for that one, and it'll show you like different drop downs and this and that. Because I don't have one set up, I can't really show you, but it's a very easy process on how to set that up. Now, let's get into Chatbox. Chatbox can be a little tricky sometimes. It really can. So with this one, it took me quite a bit to kind of get everything figured out with this one. So I have this one set. You can kind of play around with it too, but I don't need the custom code. Thank you. This is the browser setting is how you're going to set your width and height of it. You're going to want to play around to see what works for you, what works for your stream, how it looks on your screen, all of it. And then you can always shut down the source when it's not visible. So that way it can't be popped up. You don't get the notifications, all of it. But you'll still have this little arrow over here that has your chat going. So you can still see everything that's going on. Now I'm actually going to turn this back off. A lot of the times with chat boxes, it has this little outline. And if you don't like the outline, it's very simple to get rid of. It's just going to take me a second to kind of remember how to do it because I don't remember exactly what I did. I use the clean on here so that way it wouldn't pop up a little and a highlighted box around my chat. So it would be kind of a freelance chat box. Now, there's a bunch of other things that you can do as well, such as your Streamelement browser sources. Now, with Streamelements, let me get it pulled up. Okay. With Streamelements, it is a little bit different. Streamelements is going to be where you have your overlays, all of it. So a lot of the times with Etsy users, they will have all of their stuff with a setup with Streamelements where you can download it or have it in there. So like this one is one of the ones that I got off of Streamelements. It will show you on how to set all of this up, and a lot of it's already enabled, but you have to put in the codes for it to work. But it will show you how to set it up. There's usually videos. If not, you can contact the seller and they will show you how to do it if you can't figure it out. Now, donation goals and like stuff like that, you can buy them separately or you can make your own. For the longest time, I was running one that I made myself. Alerts are about the same way. You can either make them because they come pre-programmed in Streamelements, where you can have it with like setting an image and it has the text. You can kind of customize it with the color, all of it. And there's different ways where you can set like a GIF or you can set just a stagnant image, or you can even have it with a video, which is where most of the people from Etsy where they sell it's like a little animated video. Now, a lot of the times people kind of get confused and they want to do it. They assume that the little animation over here is a GIF. It is always going to be an MP4, and if you aren't sure, always go into your little browse or your file explorer and see what it downloaded as. That way you can kind of see it's like, oh, if it's GIF or if it's just an image, a PNG or the JFP, you select image. And then if it's MP4 or MOV, you select video. And you can always test these out. So for me, this is the follower. So I'm going to do the follower. And it pops up here. And you can kind of play around with it and stuff. And it'll show you like on your stream. I'll do it again so you guys can see. So it pops up here for me. You can play around and move this around. You can change the height. You can change the size. Any of it so you can make it bigger and position it to where you want it to be. A lot of the time people will ask me, is like, do you have to have the browser source open? So that way it's visible to your stream. No, you do not. It automatically emulates to your stream. Now, if you want to do something like a win counter or a crown counter, if you play Fortnite or if you play other games that you want your chat to see visible with how many wins you have, you're going to want to make a new overlay, and you're going to want to set this little thing up here. If you're wanting to have a counter of some sort, you're going to want to go to labels. You're going to want to go to other, and you're going to go to bot counter. This way you can create a command in your settings on Streamelements to match what this will do. So I have this one already set up, and as you can see, I kind of failed this before, and I was doing this by myself. Just like every time I'd get a win, I would update it through the website. You will want to come into your settings afterwards. You can customize this command however you see fit or whatever you want. Now, you don't have to keep it displayed on here. You can always just keep it kind of here. And it'll kind of pop up, and you don't have to save it or anything else, but you can always have it like in your deal. And you don't even have to do it like this. You can just go straight to the commands. Now, with commands, you're going to want to go down to chat box and then chat commands. A lot of the times there's some that's already pre-made, but a lot of the times you're going to want to have custom commands that kind of go with your deal. So you can have it where you automatically have, if you have a couple of games that you play pretty regularly, you can have a command set up where if you're playing one game and you're like, okay, I'm done with this game, I want to move on to the next one while still streaming, is you can have it where it switches the game name on your streams. That way you don't have to go in and do it manually. So it would be the $sign, the little squiggle, set game, and then in parentheses, you want to type out the full name and then X and then the ending squiggly bar. And I have this for two of them. I have it for Fortnite and I have it for Genshin because these are the ones that I usually play the most. Now with Genshin, it's like if it's a multiple worded, you're going to have to type out the entire actual name for the game. A lot of the times with mobile, they can't really sub through Prime. It has to be on a desktop. So there's ways that you can kind of do it with so I have a Prime command. So that way if people who have um Amazon Prime for that free Prime sub that they want to sub to me, it's like I have the website on where would go to that. So you would do www.twitch.tv/sub/ your specific username stream for your stream. Another deal is shoutouts. So a lot of the times people will either come and raid and you want to give them a shout out, or if you have a very close friend and they say something pretty cool or yada yada. There's so many things that you can do with this. So with this one, I have it set for the $sign, the squiggly brackets, and inside one. And that goes to whoever you at. And then you can also do it for the game that they were last streaming, or you can also have a link to their Twitch account for their streams if you want people to go check them out. There's also other ones that you can do. So, like with raid, if you want to have like a spam raid message for when you go and raid other viewers, you can have that set up. There's clip ones where this one it took me a little bit to kind of set up, and there's videos and stuff that'll show you on how to do this, but you can have a clip one where it automatically clips a minute and it'll automatically post the link to that clip in your chat in real time. It will probably take a little bit for it to pop up, but it will pop up. Another one with the okay. So this one is for the little counter that you guys see in the top left corner. these are the commands that I have for here. So for me, I have them set as crownwin. You can do as a death count, whatever. So for me, I play a lot of Fortnite, and you guys can have it set to where it shows how many crowns you have for the season before the new season starts and all of that. So for me, I have it set as moderator, and a lot of people should have it set as moderator because you can also do this from your phone, or if you don't have a if you don't have a mod in your chat, you can do this yourself. But if you have it set to everybody, then anybody can do it for non-subscribers, people who don't follow, any of it. And it can mess up your account. And as long as you have that same name, which is right here that I have for mine, as long as you have that same name of the little counter that you set up here, it'll transition the count. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I had gotten 2 crown wins off stream a couple days ago. And I'm pretty sure it's going to make me log in. So I'm going to do this from my phone actually. So you would pull up Twitch on your phone. You would go to Stream Manager. You would go over to Stream Manager and you should be able to find my chat. Now, as long as you're logged into your Twitch account, you'll be able to do pretty much anything. Now, this will pop up in real time as I'm doing this. So, let's do crown win and see it automatically updated to 1. Now, you can do other prefixes where it will pop up as a shorter deal. So if you don't want your chat to type out the entire thing for your moderators, or if they're busy, you can also do, like for me, I did CW, which is the initials for crown win. So CW. I guess I did not. So I'll show you guys how to do that. So for crown win, you're going to want to either if it's death count, so it would be like DC, all that. You would just type in the exclamation point and the initials for that. And then it'll automatically, you have to click off of it for it to actually save. And then you'll hit the save button. Now, let's see if it'll do it this time. CW. And there it goes, and it updated itself. Now, there's also ways that you can do stuff if you want like a reset counter. So you would do, okay, so for me, I have it set as reset crowns. And it automatically does everything for me. All you have to do is have that specific code for it to actually work. So let me go ahead and get this back up to where it needs to be. And here is the reset crowns. So this one, it's very simple. Here's the code if you want to kind of copy and paste or any of that. But you would have to make sure that your command for whatever your counter is in that command. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I will have all of this linked and stuff in the description so that way you guys can kind of know going based off of everything and kind of see it. So if you want to copy it, you can. And then if you like a lot of people they make accidents like people have accidents and stuff and they do one too many or somebody did it and it was by accident and like you didn't realize that another mod was on the job. So you could do a remove. So for me it would be remove crown, which I need to go in and make a okay. With this one, it would be the count, the name, no space, -1. So that way you can kind of get that one extra one that was done. And if you need to, you could do it multiple times. If a lot of people did it if your mods are being on top of it and they're just not paying attention to who all is doing it. But you want to make sure that you have all of these commands set to moderators. That way, either you or people who mod for your streams can do it for you. There's also another one that's very beneficial. If you have a lot of links like I do, you would want to put your you want to create a command for your socials. And this what this does is it drops down like a link tree link, so that way people can kind of get a feel of, okay, here's all of it at once. That way it's not very cluttered in your chat and it can be accessed by everybody. So for me, I have a link tree. So let's go ahead and do this. Do socials. And it pops up here faster than it does my actual sidebar. So for me, I would click on this little link, pull it up for you guys, and it has like all of my socials and stuff. And this has to be updated because I just added a Instagram. So Linktree is free, you don't have to pay for it or nothing. So this way, everything is kind of combined as one, and you don't have a bunch of people that are doing like um, explanation explanation point Discord. Like all of it can be in one spot, and it looks a little bit more professional because it's cleaner. You also have people that may not be listening in, or if they're have the volume down to mute and stuff. And if you aren't affiliate, you're going to want to make sure that you have that set to one, like at volume 1 if you're on PC. Now, with mobile, you can have it set to mute as long as you're refreshing the page every so often or making a comment here and there. Now, with PC is a little bit different. So usually with me, as I do have alert command, I let that person know it's like, hey, make sure you stay hydrated. Like we're all for positive affirmations. And the for PCs that you keep the volume at one, so that we still have that viewer count. Now it's very difficult to hear the volume and stuff, even at that with it at one. But if you're say you're busy or you're having a conversation or you're in a Discord voice call and you want to be able to listen to other people, you can have it set to one and it will still count as a viewer. Now, for there was one other one that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so here's this other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. A lot of the times people have blurps or sounds or stuff like that. You can't have any of that on your stream until after you make affiliate. Now, there's different ways that you can set up and stuff, and you can kind of customize this. So for me, I have it set as souls because I'm more on the gothic side for my streams and with my PNG tuber. This is what your channel points are. So your channel points, you have your bits and then your channel points. You can't change what your bit themes are called, I don't think. But your channel points can be fully customizable, which you can also get stuff off of Etsy to kind of go with your theme for your streams. Now there's different ways that you can set that up after you've made affiliate. So let me get moved over for that and I will show you guys on how to do all of that. Okay. Get this moved over. Okay. So what you're going to want to do after you make affiliate and stuff, you'll get an email saying congratulations, you are now affiliate. Just the link and stuff you'll have to go through to set up your earnings and all of that fun, happy stuff. Once that is done, you'll want to go to viewer rewards. And then it'll do a little pop down menu for power ups and channel points. The channel points is what we're mostly aiming for. So this is where you enable the channel points for your channel, and then you go in and do the customized for your stream. Now, for me, I have it set to the little gold coins because that's what kind of represents my ideal. You will need to visit a website to have these resized because not a lot of the times people will not have these sized correctly for you, and Canva does not work for anything under 40x40px. So it would work for these last two, but for this first one you will have to go to another website to have it resized. And there's plenty of resized options, like plenty of resized there are plenty of resizable websites that are free and are reliable for you to use. And I will have a lot of this stuff linked and stuff for you guys too in the description. This is going to be free knowledge for anybody. But you're going to want to have those resized for your channels, that way they work properly. And the same thing goes for your sub. So for your subs, if I can remember how to do this. So for subs, you're going to want to go to monetization, and then you're going to want to go to subscriptions. You're also going to want to go to, yeah, so you'll hit this little menu for the subscriber badges. This is after you make affiliate. And then you'll have to do the resize for these as well because these will not come automatically for you. They will have them in a different size, and I'm pretty sure those are meant for YouTube or like another streaming platform, or they just have it where it's like one stagnant picture and it's you just have to go in and have it done yourself. So you'll have to do the same thing with your badges and stuff like that. You'll have to have them in 3 different sizes. That way you can kind of see over here at the top corner where the name by the name in the chat, those will be visible there. See, I have one, trying to put my mouse under it right here. It's very tiny, and that's where this one comes in. Is it needs to be small enough so that way it registers with the chat up here. And you can also change like your tier 2 and tier 3 little icon that's up here. I haven't messed with that yet, and I think I'm just going to leave this here, or actually I might take it off. I'm not too sure yet. But there's different ways that you can kind of customize it for that specific deal as well. And you can find a lot of this stuff on Etsy. You can find it through other people. You can commission people that are friends that are really good at art, that know how to do um, animated files and stuff like that. Now, having it done for commission is going to make it a lot more expensive versus having something that's already pre-made that can be an instant download and ready to use. But I hope this information was useful to you guys. If you have any comments, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to comment down below. I will try my best to make sure I view and read every comment or question you guys have and respond back to you guys as you guys need it. Now, there's a lot of the times I will try not to redo the same thing, or if it's the same question, I will repost the same thing that I've made in another comment. But I will try my best to make sure that you guys have your answers, um, have your questions answered, so that way you have this free information because this is something that should not be gatekept, and a lot of people have this gatekept. But I hope you guys appreciated the video, and I will see you guys next time I do another video. Bye!